We are live on episode 5 of the Zero Budget Filmmakers Podcast. I am your host, Thomas Clark, editor, colourist and director of films including The Woman of Wilding Woods, A New Bloom and Tarot Tango. And today we are joined by James. James, please introduce yourself for everybody.
Hello everybody, my name is James Leggett. I have been a writer, producer, director, actor, cameraman, editor, music composer for various short films of my own creation, and you're going to learn all about them today.
Amazing. Well, let's start with the first one then, writer.
Yeah, I've written all of my movies.
Okay.
Yeah,
and the titles include?
Let's see, Killing Charisma, the Conflict of Interest series, there was like 6 of them. Greediness of the Americans, Sentient Bird vs. Living Frog, a series of random events, a couple of audio plays, 2 Doctor Who fan films, and hopefully more in the future. So, I've written a lot of scripts.
Amazing. And what kind of got you into writing in the first place?
Well, it's when I started doing my media course at college. I could only really find myself being satisfied by things that I wrote.
Okay.
So I just thought, you know what, there's no one who can better translate what's in my head to paper than me, so...
Very true, very true. So you studied media,
Mm-hmm.
and you studied that at college. Did you go on to do any uni degree?
I did film.
You did film at uni?
Mm-hmm.
Where did you study at uni?
Brighton.
Okay, Brighton Film, Brighton Met.
University of Brighton.
University of Brighton.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a third one to the mix. Because there's obviously Sussex,
Mm-hmm.
there's Met, and then Brighton. So where did you study there?
It was mostly the Edward Street building.
Okay, and when was this?
2020 to 2023.
Okay, so through COVID. So how did you find that then? Obviously, because
Really?
studying film in uni is obviously difficult at
Mhm.
the best of times, but through COVID, being on your
Yeah,
own...
yeah, like, I only went to the uni building like 5 times in my first year.
Wow.
Yeah, I had to go shoot my first year short film in my front garden.
Okay.
Yeah, although I did have a bizarre incident once where I thought we had an in-person lesson. I got to the building, but it was closed, and I checked my emails, and it was like, oh, it's an in-person online session. So I could, without any other options, I went to the local shopping mall, and I sat in the lesson there.
Interesting.
Meaning that I could be the first person to accidentally have a lesson in a shopping mall.
There is certainly that, but you found a way around it, and you found a solution. And I guess the main question is then, does that reflect in your filmmaking?
I mean, definitely, because of how many hurdles I had to jump through.
What's the worst hurdle you've had to jump through then, as a filmmaker so far?
It was probably when I was making my final year short film, Greediness of the Americans.
Okay.
My original plan was that I wanted to make it with the people I made my second year short film with.
Right.
But one of them had dropped out, and the other 2 told me they didn't like me anymore. So
Okay.
and for the next few months, I just couldn't get anyone on board. So I was having to do all of the pre-production myself. It was after Christmas I finally got somewhat of a crew together, and I was first year students.
Okay, and what do you think was the biggest struggle there then, of finding people?
So many people already had crews, or they were busy with their own things. They said yes to me, but then they would change their mind and say no because they had something else.
So do you think it was a networking issue that you don't know enough people, or do you think it's...
Possibly. I mean, a teacher also later told me that allegedly, so don't sue me, that the people I made my second year short film with had gone around telling people I bullied them.
Okay.
I mean, he said that's all he heard, so I don't know if it's true or not. But if it is true, it would explain a lot.
There is that. So maybe was it a confrontational thing then between you and everyone involved, or...?
It was just bizarre because the first day back for third year, I asked them if they wanted to make sequels to my second year short film, because something I discovered is that if I don't shoot for a while, I get rusty. So my plan was that I was going to go make sequels to my second year short film in my spare time.
Okay.
So when I got to actually film my third year short film, my skills were real good.
Yeah.
And they politely declined, but they gave me a prop, which was fake blood.
Right.
And they said they gave me more props later on. The very next day, it was a lesson. The teacher was like, okay, go start getting your crews together for your final year short film. And so during the break, I went up to one of them because the other one had gone to the toilet. I was like, hey, do you want to work together again? And he just went off at me.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is this someone you've worked with before then?
Yeah,
or-
yeah. I made my second year short film with them.
And what was the kind of relationship towards the end of the film process there?
Well, as far as I was aware, everything was fine. I thought everything was fine. I got everything I wanted to get done. That he and the producer had gone ahead and I let them do their own shots so they could go do their own edit.
Okay.
So, as far as I was aware, everything was fine. The only part of contention I felt was that originally in the second year short film, which was Conflict of Interest 1, the characters was supposed to be holding guns, and I sent a list of fake guns on Amazon to the producer.
Right.
And I told them, I don't care what ones you get, just get 2 different ones. And somehow, this translates to getting 2 gun holsters.
Okay.
And he didn't bother checking until the day of filming. Like,
So you had no guns?
yeah, like, there we were, like, the characters weren't going to fire them or anything, and we got permission from the uni for the guns and everything.
Right.
So there we were, opening the Amazon box just to find 2 gun holsters.
Okay, so how did we get around that then?
Butter knives.
Butter knives?
Desperation.
In gun holsters?
No, we didn't. I didn't use the holsters.
Oh, so you changed the script?
Yeah, the characters are just holding butter knives now.
So you seem to be a man that likes to be able to maybe think quickly and think on your feet. So
Well, you kind of
where did
have
the
to.
idea for butter knives come from?
It was all I could think of on short notice, since because all the people in my crew, which was me and 3 other people, were doing this unit for uni where we had to go do work experience, and we were all going to be doing work experience the week after, so we didn't have time to reshoot or anything.
Okay.
So butter knives were my only solution.
And how did it come across in the final piece?
I wasn't very satisfied.
Ah.
Yeah.
Do you think everyone else involved was?
When I went up to the guy and he went off at me, one of the things he said was that he thought the second year short film was shit.
I mean, at least he put it bluntly. I guess.
But it's like, why did he tell me any of this at the time? Like, and I let them do their own shots, so it's not like I was being overbearing or anything.
And what were you in this piece then? Were you?
I was the director and writer.
Okay.
I wish he was going to be producer as well, but the teacher was like, just focusing on directing. So I thought, okay, I'll let someone else be the producer. And the experience soured me so much, I knew I'd have to produce everything myself in the future.
Okay. So do you think now, moving forward with your latest one that you've just kind of finished the next block on, are you taking on all the roles again yourself, or have you distributed?
Most of them. I have an assistant director for certain days, so that helps ease off somewhat. But I am doing all the pre and post production. And
how do you find that then for yourself? Because obviously, having everything to do all by yourself is challenging at the best of times.
Yeah, it is very frustrating. But at the same time, I can't. How am I supposed to trust people, especially if it's someone I don't know or at least barely know, right? Or if they have their own projects they work on, it's a bit of a dick move to go ask them, hey, can you please drop everything and work on my thing for free and have you do lots of work? So realistically, I have to go do a lot.
So do you find, because I'm very much in the same position as yourselves, and I thankfully have these 2 boys that I ask on to come and help me shoot this for free that I can put out. So do you think it's maybe something that you're not giving to them coming on board that they're not liking?
Well, as I said, it's just a trust thing because it's like someday I am thinking about getting a full crew for like a feature film and seeing a short film for like a 1-day shoot.
Yeah.
And being like, hey, pay all your travel expenses.
Amazing.
I think I'd be able to afford that because paying everyone is just not something that we're in a position to do at the moment.
Yeah, of course, because it's difficult to pay for a full feature, let alone a short, nowadays at the best of times, especially on our level. Hence why I started the Zero Budget Filmmakers Podcast, because most of the films that I've done have just been food and travel. I think it's very rare that I've ever paid somewhere for their craft, and thankfully they've all wanted to come on because they know the result that maybe they're going to get out of it is going to be up there. It's going to be suitable to go on their show reel. It's going to be able to go on a portfolio. What is it then maybe you as a director offer to people coming on board to get them on for free?
I'm a very easygoing person. I'm not going to lose my mind like Stanley Kubrick or the guy who directed The Lost Tango in Paris.
Okay.
So I'd say I'm a very chill person.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm not going to demand excessive retakes. If I'm happy with a take, then we'll move on.
Amazing. But in the work itself,
Right.
obviously you can be anybody to anybody, but the quality of work, maybe the work that they're going to get out of it, are you Do you turn it around quickly?
Yep.
Do you have a screening? What is it that you kind of present to everybody to bring them on board?
Let's see. So far, it's pretty much sometimes it's pretty much like, hey, the first time I ever worked with professional actors, which was the second year short film, I just put up a casting notice and I cast the first people who responded.
Okay.
So and if they agreed to it, who am I to complain?
Why did you go down that path as the first person to put in rather than maybe waiting a little bit and finding the right actor? What made you choose that path?
Well, initially I cast 2 people for it.
Okay.
But then one of them dropped out, so I had to go delay film for a few days while I rapidly tried to find someone else.
Right.
And then I eventually found someone who's like young enough.
Okay.
Yeah, like I had some other people apply. Like there was this one guy who also applied, but he was too old. But I don't like rejecting people.
Right.
And so I used him in a later film. So
talk us through then maybe Rejection, because as a filmmaker, I think it's very difficult to work with rejection because it's such a natural thing that happens day in, day out, no matter where in the industry you're involved. You just said that you don't like to give people rejections. What is the reasoning behind that, I guess? Because
ever since I graduated from uni, I have applied for hundreds of jobs in both the film industry and lots of other industries, and I've gotten almost all universal rejection, and it's just not very nice.
Why do you think that is?
The issue is that most of the time they don't tell you why. They just go, "Hey, sorry, due to high applicant feedback, we can't give you individual feedback."
Mm-hmm.
So,
and have you pushed for feedback?
Most of the time, it's like I'm just like, oh, why should I bother? It's like if they're not going to give me a proper reason the first time around.
But this is the industry, I think, in itself. Like, whenever you put something forward, it's most of the time it is going to be the response, as you said. We've had a high number of applicants. Unfortunately, you just haven't been selected. But maybe that's them asking for that little bit of push, that little bit of desire to maybe drive yourself forward. Have you ever thought of maybe doing that next time?
I think about it.
You think? I love it. What kind of then attitude do you have towards filmmaking yourself, do you think?
If I enjoy doing it, so I'm going to do it.
And do you still enjoy doing it?
Yeah. When everything gets together, when we're actually filming and everything's going well, yeah, I'd say so.
Amazing. So what was the last piece that you maybe really enjoyed doing?
Recently I filmed a bit, a part of a scene for my feature film.
Okay.
And it's just with one of my friends, and it was lots of fun.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I used slow motion for the first time ever.
Okay, and how'd you find that?
It was really fun because it was a scene where I punch him, so obviously because it's slow motion I could just go like this.
Okay.
Yeah, the results looked fucking hilarious.
And it comes out in camera as you wanted it?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you've then said you've done a bit of camera work as well. Was this scene or couple of scenes shot yourself?
Most when I don't have anyone else available and I'm not in front of the camera, yeah, I'm pretty much doing the camera work with my phone.
Okay. And how do you find working with phones then? Because I know it's becoming a bigger thing, especially with social media becoming bigger and bigger, vertical dramas becoming bigger and bigger, and then of course you've had 28 years later which was just shot on iPhone. So how do you find it, and what maybe phones do you work with?
I work with Samsungs.
Okay.
Yeah, Samsung Galaxies. I like working on phones because it's just very simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like because I have a DSLR and there's so many settings on there, and it's just like
there is.
But I don't shoot vertically. Like it's like because why would I limit myself to so little screen space? Mm-hmm. I shoot it wide. I'm gonna keep it fucking wide.
It's that. It's very true. So what makes you hate vertical dramas then? Because obviously they're blowing up at the moment.
Because there's so little room to appreciate anything. Because everything is so tight and has to be so tight and narrow because of the way everything is framed. It's like going on social media and then you see a clip from somewhere, but it's in the mobile phone aspect ratio. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, it's not supposed to look like that.
Maybe do you think it's a chance to maybe broaden your creativity a little bit and try and, as you do with the butter knife example, work around the tight screen and broaden?
I mean, usually if I have to put something in the mobile phone aspect ratio, I'll just have it be like black bars so everything is a bit squished. But at the same time, you see it how I want it. to be framed.
Okay.
Yeah, I did put because earlier this year I started another project which was which is Blue Monday Weekly, and it's basically I look at a different version of my favourite song of all time, Blue Monday, every Monday.
Okay.
So and I always shoot it wide because I want it wide.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're very much a man that's kind of got a vision in your head then. And then how do you find having that vision in your head so clearly when it comes to editing? Because obviously I know you want to maybe become more involved with the editing side of things and look at gaining work in from there.
Mm-hmm.
How do you find having such a clear vision when it comes to maybe someone else's work?
Someone else's work, well, you can have a new a different vision than them. Like for example, I get about one client a year with editing so far, and a few years back, I did an episode of a series which the City of Ours, not the BBC one. They just happen to have the same name.
Okay.
Anyways, and due to production issues, the episode I was given and the script were almost completely different, so I had to come up with the structure myself.
Okay.
Yeah, and then somebody else came in and changed it changed it a bit for the final product. But for my first cut, I had to come up with the structure myself.
And how did you find that then? Is that because there was no script, or
there was a script, but the issue was that they had to change things around because of production issues.
Okay, so when you say production issues, obviously all the footage is there in front of you, and you've got a script there. What did the footage not correlate to the script?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay,
some parts vaguely matched, but other parts just did not. Like there's at least two scenes from one of the episodes, if I recall correctly, and then scenes just took place in different locations, and then some of them were like really short. So so I had to go. So it's going to figure out how to arrange everything in a logical order.
Yeah, and then as an editor yourself, do you feel like editing helps you maybe on your next film?
Yeah, because since I'm directing it, I know what's in my head, so when it comes to editing, I can just get it done quickly because, I can just do everything how it's in my head. Like before I made my feature film last year, it was in my head for at least 7 years on and off.
Okay.
Yeah, I somehow conceived of it when I did my first year of media at college, and it just, and I've had to change a lot of the film, mostly for budget reasons.
Okay.
But like for example, a lot of the film is going to take place in the pocket dimension against green screen. So just so I can have crazy unrealistic backgrounds.
Challenging already, especially on a budget.
Yeah, but it's cheaper than trying to get to real life locations like an office and stuff.
There is. Mm-hmm. So have you got a green screen then maybe to hand? Is that how you're working around the budget? Okay.
Yeah. It's been such a great investment. I got a blue screen not that long ago as well, so I have more creativity.
Okay. What made you invest in those then? Because obviously to shoot green screen or blue screen or anything that's VFX wise obviously takes maybe a good amount of knowledge or a good amount of budget. Would you say you have both, or do you think you lean more into knowledge?
Definitely knowledge, not budget.
Okay.
I mean, you can get everything together for less than £100 off Amazon, so that saved a lot of time. And I just wanted to, experiment with green screens more.
So talk us through then maybe VFX, because I know it's something I, as a filmmaker, especially at this budget, try to avoid as much as possible. Yeah. So what makes you maybe lean down that path more?
So far it's just mostly been green screen, and it's stuff for practicality purposes. For example, when I made my first sort of feature film, a series of random events, I had originally I wanted to have it set in an office space, but then COVID happened, film got delayed by a few years. Mm-hmm. I couldn't get most of the cast back, so I had to do semi-recasts.
Okay.
And at the end, I was just going like, I want to get it done. And so eventually, when I realised I couldn't have an office, I just said, oh, to hell with it. I just filmed it against a green screen with an in-universe explanation that, I set up this green screen to help you feel better. Then I just put in lots of crazy shit I could find on Pexels.
Okay.
Yeah, I just typed in liquid colours and I put them against the background. So.
Okay, interesting. So the films that you've maybe done up until now have kind of been very much maybe got problematic, full of problems that you're trying to have to work around to get there, to get to the as best as you can result as possible. Yeah. The film that you're maybe working on now then, what lessons have you taken from all those to go into the film that you're currently shooting?
Lessons. Well, for a good start, try not to do too much at one time. Like I have a lot of scenes which are like really short and just simple that I can get filmed very quickly, and massively helps me with the budget. And you have to adjust things when you have to. For example, originally I wanted my character to have the sword from Highlander.
Right.
Yeah, the Conor Ramirez sword because
Yeah.
because Highlander is probably my favorite film of all time.
Okay.
Yeah, and I knew and all my films are part of the same universe, and in some of the novels I've written and self-published, I've barely made any money for them. Bob has the Conor Highlander sword.
Right.
But then I started looking them up, and it was just like, wait, so is it legal to have a blade this long curved, or is it not? And I couldn't find a plastic version, and having a custom made plastic version was highly expensive.
It was.
And then I remember that in a series of random events, at one point Bob pulled out a bread knife to threaten someone, and I realised I could explain that by saying that it's actually a sword, but because of his perception is being messed with sometimes, because his name is Bob Random, randomness will follow him.
Okay.
It looks like a bread knife to him, but only sometimes.
Interesting.
Exactly.
So again, you've worked around maybe and used that creativity. So you've got a lot of creativity there and a lot of ways to work around it. Yeah. Where did that creativity come from for yourself?
Probably just having to work around on. Well, I think it's because I've watched movies for a long time and I had lots of ideas for loads of them.
Okay.
Loads of them because sometimes I think, okay, what's my dream film and what has nobody made? And then that's what I write. So.
Okay. So is that what you're trying to aim for in this latest project, a film that no one's made before?
I mean, that's what I always try to do. I mean, with my films, I always try to do things some people have never done. Like, hey, have you ever seen a film where a woman tricks a corrupt cop into being locked into her house, and then she gets him to confess that he's actually a serial killer and framed other people for his crimes, and then after she reveals that she recorded the whole conversation, he offs himself. All with automatic exposure because I was totally being experimental. It wasn't because I completely forgot what it was. Okay. So I try to do things differently.
Amazing. And so then, through uni, then you've obviously got your first, second, and third year. Did you think you saw an improvement in your work throughout the years?
Definitely. I mean, the second year short film helped because I remember what exposure was.
Good, that's a good start.
And then my final year short film, despite the hell I went through to try and get it made and all the issues on set, like losing an hour on the first day because the students hadn't shown up to most of the test shoots, so they had to be taught how to use the equipment, or me having to body double for someone because someone had to drop out at the last minute.
Right.
I was super lucky because the guy who lived up to me in dorms was like really up for being in my films.
Good.
So I was able to get him on super short notice, but I had to work around his schedule.
Okay.
So I had to body double him for a scene. Yeah, I'd say that worked out for the better because it's a very long track and you'll have two characters just walking. So and as soon as I put on the hat, you could never tell us apart.
That's all right then.
Yeah, but the most annoying one was on the second day. Even shoot because originally I mentioned this massive bar fight in the I think it was the cool down room where you have like a pool table and stuff.
Yeah.
And then only one extra showed up, so I had to rapidly rewrite it on set just to make everything line up together.
And how did that go then? Obviously, overcoming a whole scene full of extras to one extra.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I was able to work on everything, and it helped that I'd already begun editing the film, so everything was fresh in my mind, so I knew what had to go where.
Yeah. So there seems to be maybe a few troubles when it comes to uni of getting the right people in the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
What was your then full experience with uni itself?
I mean, as I said, the first year was heavily COVID afflicted. The second year it was less so, and let's see, I had my 2 weeks of work experience. I thought I could work there after I graduated. Didn't work out, but oh well. The third year was definitely the best because I moved into student dorms now that COVID was a lot less of an issue.
Amazing.
And I just had so much freedom.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was so peaceful as well. I could just be on, and the Wi-Fi was ultra quick.
Good.
Yeah, it was like 200 megabytes a second.
Well, better than the Wi-Fi I have here. Let's say that.
Like I could download about a gigabyte in a minute.
Nice.
That's super impressive.
Maybe I might just need to move into uni dorms when I'm downloading footage from now on then, because downloading footage at the moment just takes an absolute year where I am.
Yeah.
So I guess in a whole though, university itself for film, do you feel like you got out what you needed to get out of it?
I mean, it would be nice if I got a job out of it, but I don't know. Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
Granted, most people, I haven't really had an opportunity to see a lot of people from uni because they're just too busy with work and stuff, which is really frustrating.
Work in the industry or work elsewhere?
Both. It's really hard. The industry's kind of on fire thanks to all the strikes and AI and shit. So nobody I know is working full time in like the industry. And stuff like that.
What makes you think that? Because there's obviously the guests I've had on so far are either making their own work and starting to really do well from it, or maybe like Joe, for example, in the last episode, has literally just moved to London and is doing really well for himself.
Well. I think it's that I think it kind of depends on connections, and and I'm socially awkward because I have like autism and stuff. So
Okay.
so it's just not natural. And I do have my business cards at networking events and stuff. But the issue is, so does everybody.
Yeah, I
So-
don't have business cards myself. I struggle with networking as well. I don't really go to networking events, and I think this podcast has maybe been great, but for me to get out there and to talk to people and talk through maybe what challenges we're facing and what we both do. But in a networking environment, I think it's challenging because you've got to present yourself well and put across the products that you can do, and also receive the products. And you never know if you're going to meet the person that's doing the same thing, and the last thing you want to do is walk away straight away and be like, well, I'm not looking for someone like you, so I'm going to move on. But I feel like you can take a lesson from everybody. So maybe talk us through then how you find networking with autism, as you say. Is it really difficult? Is it challenging? Have you found ways around that?
I haven't had that much success so far. Usually, I show up and I do try and show people my work so they know I'm legitimate.
Amazing.
Yeah, because we live in the world of scams. So, and I've got literal years of work to show. Yes, I am legitimate. Please let me edit for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I've had a few bits have worked out. Like somebody's using a piece of music I made I think it was a social media thing that hasn't come out yet. So
Okay.
we'll see how that goes.
And is that through networking then that you got these jobs?
They said, hey, an actor you gave your business card to told me about this. So that's what they said in the email. So
Amazing. Well, it's always good news to kind of have something like that come through.
yeah.
And so, with your business cards then, what do you put on your business cards? Do you put websites? Do you put social media? Do you put links?
So let's see. With my current set, I have my I have what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I have my email. Have my YouTube channel, so everyone can see what it's like. So
And obviously, you kind of do a hell of a lot at the moment. As you say, the films that you've made, you've dabbled in all areas.
Yeah.
What is that one niche then that you want to maybe focus on and go down?
Editing.
Editing.
It's what I enjoy most on other people's films.
Okay.
I don't really like being on people's sets too much. Like, for example, once I was an extra in a student film in London, and I had to go there really early because it's more expensive to go to London early.
Of course.
And they had me do fuck all for 3 hours. Like I remember at one point I was balancing on the log just to kill time.
Right.
Yeah,
And why is that then?
it's just look, I get. I think. Well, there was definitely. Well, they definitely had some issues. Like, I remember at one point they tried to put up this black tarpaulin thing,
Okay.
and then they ultimately abandoned it after like an hour.
Right.
I feel like if they just set up a bit better and called me later, I would have been in a much better mood.
Okay.
But no, and it probably didn't help that I kept belching because of an unfortunate combination of the sandwiches I had there and banana and fruit I had available. Yeah.
Amazing. You've got some interesting stories, hey James?
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe enlighten us on one that we haven't heard yet that's going to really entertain us all.
Well, when I was let's see. Well, I've made 2 Doctor Who fan films so far.
Okay.
And on both of them, I've had to deal with massive environmental noise.
Right.
On the first one, we were filming outside and we had to pause for both airplanes and neighbours arguing.
Okay.
And then on the second one, we were filming in the forest and we had to keep waiting for trains to pass.
Do you think that was then maybe a production issue and pre-planning?
I may have been a tad optimistic.
Tad, if you're going to go on a flight path and a train track.
But it got so much worse because after we got everything filmed, I was wearing sandals.
Right.
And I bumped in, I think it was a small rock my toe bumped into so hard it bled.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So remember kids, don't go in sandals in the forest.
That's a very good response. And it's fitting, as you say, we've got our doctors up there at the moment. Mm-hmm. Enlighten us, which is your favourite doctor?
Probably Tom Baker, because the Philip Hinchcliffe era is the best of Doctor Who.
And then does he reflect in your Doctor Who fan fictions, or?
He definitely inspires it, because the second one is very unique, because it's made up using an unfinished film.
Right.
Because a few years ago, an online friend of mine was like, "Hey, a few years back, I started making my own Doctor Who fan film, but then it just fell apart. I never got around to finishing it. Do you want the footage?" So I said, "Sure." And so the first time I used it was for my short film on Conflict of Interest 5.
Okay.
Where he hadn't shot he hadn't shot any Doctor Who specific elements, and there was just a lot of footage of a guy running around the forest.
Okay.
So I got to use some of that.
Nice.
And then I was making my second Doctor Who fan film. I knew that it'd be perfect to finally give it to finally use the more Doctor Who specific footage to finally make it a proper finished Doctor Who fan film.
Yeah.
Of course, one of the issues is that he no longer had a script, so I had to kind of figure out where the footage all went myself.
Okay.
And I had to cut out quite a bit of it. Like, there was a lot of footage of him just running around the forest. And at some point, he gets attacked by a bin bag monster and it looked absolutely crap.
Okay.
I mean, he told me it was meant to look deliberately crap to evoke classic Who, but not as crap as it looked.
Right.
Yeah, so for the initial attack scene, I was able to cut out any large shots of the creature, so you only saw like part of it.
Yeah, good way to work around it.
Yeah, and then I wanted to have a real Dalek in it, but I asked in a couple of Facebook groups, but nobody got back to me, so I just used a toy Dalek in the end.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So in your kind of journey as a filmmaker, then it's a lot of working around obstacles, and you've got a lot of creativity there for yourself. And I guess the last few questions that I maybe want to ask you then is, what is your kind of career goals? What's your aspirations as being in the industry, I guess is the best word?
Ideally, I'd love to be an editor. Just chill at home and edit. I don't have to interact with many people. I can just go from there.
Do you not feel like an editor, though, has to interact with a lot of people, especially at the higher end of things? They've got to work closely with composers, colorists, directors, producers.
I I colorize as well. So.
Okay, you color grade as well. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. I did learn a lot of teaching myself editing with fan edits initially.
Okay.
And I just improved it with proper lessons in uni. So
amazing.
Yeah.
And do you think uni then gave you the right toolbox to maybe become an editor?
Yeah, definitely. It's just trying to get work. That's the issue.
Okay. How are you then trying to find work?
I apply a lot via Backstage, Production Base, and various video editing Facebook groups.
Amazing. And what are you maybe putting out there to try and get that work? Are you just cold outreaches? Are we talking to people in the DMs?
I mean, if someone's like, "Hey, I need a video editor," I usually just I usually apply to them, and I do have like a massive list of portfolio work.
Amazing.
And a show reel as well. So
brilliant. And so, how much work have you got through from doing that?
Well, as I said, about one client a year.
Okay. So, what is stopping you from getting more? Do you think?
Well, people just don't responding. That's it. That's a simple issue. Like, if people don't respond to you and tell you what you're doing wrong, then it's like.
Is it a case of they just completely blank you? They don't even reply, or
that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously, if someone's outreaching, they're obviously looking. Mm-hmm. So is it maybe that the message you're sending across isn't the right fit? Have you maybe tried tweaking each part of your outreach and tried saying something different and maybe showing them something slightly different or asking a few questions about the product?
I try to ask questions if they get back to me.
Okay.
And of course, there's a much more simple explanation. They just saw someone else they liked better.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
So how do you become the one that they like?
That's a great question. I'm still trying to figure out.
So obviously you've had uni, which is 3 years, and you've had maybe a bit before uni and a bit after uni now. How are you trying to figure that out?
So far, just staying sane by making my own film.
Nice.
Yeah, that and my general apathy helps.
Your general
apathy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, because apathy doesn't mean you don't care. It just means
Yeah.
you're not gonna have much of an emotional reaction. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh no, I got rejected again. Anyway, bonus, you get the Top Gear reference.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes that's a good attitude to have, because if rejection really doesn't bother you that much, you should be able to keep sending out outreach and keep sending out DMs, and volume obviously is the best way to go and get work. I guess if you weren't, what is then maybe at stake for yourself if you don't become a video editor? Are you got something to fall back on, or is video editing that one route that you want to go down?
I've applied for a lot of jobs outside the industry, like weekly, and most of the time they say no.
Okay.
And I've worked at so many different places. Like I've worked at a Christmas event a few times as a steward.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked at Royal Ascot as a barback.
Okay.
Let's see. I worked at the Royal Mail Post Office Sorting Centre.
Amazing. But maybe in the industry?
I've applied a lot in this industry as well for which.
Where are we looking?
Production based is a good one.
Okay.
Yeah, they have lots of big jobs on there and stuff.
Amazing. Is that to go on features? Is it go on TV series? What's it for?
It's like, hey, this company's looking for an editor, so.
Okay.
You know.
So you're looking like high up, straight into the top end of kind of the work.
I try to look anywhere I can.
Yeah.
So.
And are you going in as like a head editor, or are you looking as maybe a second or third unit editor?
I try to be like second, third unit or junior, just
okay.
since I'm technically entry level.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Amazing. So obviously you've got maybe something to fall back on though with your directing and everything like that.
Yeah, I am hoping that once my feature film comes out, I'll get more work. Because I can be like, hey, look what I made for almost no money. Give me money and I can do a lot more for you.
It's a dream that we all live by. I guess then with obviously your feature coming out, when is your feature coming out? Is it coming out soon? Is it got...
Depends when I finish.
What's stopping you from finishing it then?
Just trying to get money and trying to get people. Like I had an actress who said they'd be up for my film, but then they completely ghosted me afterwards.
Okay.
Yeah, and last year I kind of I thought I found someone, the person who helped me finish my film, and that was a huge mistake. Like they were so fucking inept. Like no joke. So we met on this short course where we all had to team up to go make a film.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, hey, if you help me finish my film, which I'm going to make away from this to be screened at the cinema, you make your feature. I was like, all right. And oh fuck me, he was so incompetent. Like for example, once he forgot to charge his laptop before coming to set because he wanted to edit as well.
Yeah.
And he didn't trust his aunt to go buy one for him. So, no joke, we lost an hour going to Sainsbury's, finding a charger, then going back.
Okay.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. And once we met at University of Sussex, because you can just go there, go to like the main building for whatever. And he was supposed to do some photography there, but he took so long eating that it became too dark for him to do anything.
Seems to be a lot of pre-production maybe issues that maybe planning is definitely one thing to look at for moving forward. But I guess to become an editor then and to get to where you want to be, what is it that you're doing yourself to get yourself there?
Well, just keep editing. Like I've got my weekly series, Blue Monday Weekly, so you can see, I am still editing. So.
And so are these more YouTube series rather than films?
I mean, it's kind of hard to edit a film if you haven't got all the footage yet. So.
It is.
Yeah, I've put together like a rough cut of my feature film, and then I have to go use text for places I haven't filmed yet.
Yeah.
I did, yeah, I'm just waiting for my hair to grow back a bit to go match on the footage.
Okay.
And then, because I realised recently that for a lot of the nighttime scenes, I can just film them against the green screen and go have pure blackness, dark blackness behind me. Kind of like a reference to Pee-wee's Big Adventure, where the night scenes in that film are very much just pure darkness sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So,
amazing.
Yeah.
And then I guess overall then, to say that for yourself you've made it, what is going to be that achievement to say that you've made it?
Again, constant editing work enough so I don't have to be on news or credit anymore, and I can just be like, hey, I'm making a living off editing now. I'm happy and shit, and I can move out and stuff, and I can just do anything I want really. Like some point, I'd love to go to Ibiza because that's where New Order, who are my favorite band, attempted to record an album, but they spent so much time partying and doing drugs they couldn't really do much.
Interesting.
Yeah, they did do some work, but they did most of it back in London. Oh, and then someday I'm going to go to Barbados because that's where the Happy Mondays kind of killed Factory Records.
Okay.
Yeah, because Factory Records, the unique thing about them is that they didn't actually own any of the music they distributed, they just had the distribution rights.
Yeah.
And they spent most of their money on a money-losing nightclub.
Okay.
Anyways, so by the early 90s, they ran out of money. New Order were taking too long to record the next album because of infighting between them. And so they sent their Happy Mondays to Barbados so they wouldn't get addicted to stay on the heroin they were addicted to in England. And they had a case full of methadone, aka drugs that get you off drugs.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they broke it, kicking the case around at the airport.
Amazing.
So once they got to Barbados, they spent most of their time taking
a lot of other drugs.
Crack cocaine.
Nice.
Lots and lots of crack. like they were selling studio equipment for crack.
Amazing.
And it didn't help their lead singer was on antipsychotics, so he couldn't write any lyrics. They apparently had to record the album naked because the studio was that hot, and they wrecked over half the rental cars on the island.
Amazing.
Yeah, the fact that nobody died is nothing short of a miracle.
It is indeed, and I tell you what is a miracle is how you've gone about making your films with all the obstacles that you've had and still pushing this career as a filmmaker. Mm-hmm. But for now, this has been episode 5 of the Zero Budget Filmmakers Podcast. I've been Thomas Clark, your host of this episode. James, please, into the camera, plug your socials, plug where we can see your films and sign us out for us.
You can find my films on my YouTube channel, James Leggett Productions. I've got playlists for everything, including special features for my films. So if you like Blu-rays and stuff, well, you can get them online for free. My special features online for free, so you can't complain. Anyways, amazing. I try to post things weekly. I wouldn't describe them as content because they're way too special for me to call them content. So, anyways, enjoy my stuff on my YouTube channel, James Leggett Productions. I'm on Instagram at randomwordsofficial. Although I'll come up as James Leggett Productions. You can find me on Facebook as James Leggett. Thanks. I hope you enjoy watching my films. I'm available for editing, so my DMs are open. Professional inquiries only, please. And look forward to seeing you next time.
And just like that, episode 5 of the Zero Budget Filmmakers Podcast is over and out. We'll see you in the next one.
Lucky number 5.
Amazing. Look at that.